Hey there, my name is Katie, and I am 5 years alcohol free, roughly, thanks to a neuroscience treatment called the Sinclair Method. I tried to quit drinking alcohol literally dozens of times before I discovered this treatment in 2017. I just stumbled upon it. And when I would try to quit drinking before, it was extremely difficult to do, and I would end up relapsing or returning to drinking again over and over again because my desire and craving for alcohol was so intense. I just had this feeling and this desire of wanting to drink, and I was just resisting that urge every single day for as long as I could. You know, a lot of people call it white knuckling. And it was just fighting an urge to drink, honestly, every day. And sometimes I would make it a couple of days alcohol free, sometimes a couple of weeks or a couple of months. But in the back of my mind, I would always be thinking, I'm going to drink again one day, or I wonder how long I'm going to be able to stay sober this time until I end up drinking again. This was all in spite of the fact that I deeply had a desire to change. I didn't want to be a binge drinker anymore. I didn't want to have issues with alcohol. I wanted to have control when I drank, and I really wanted to get this problem under control, but I would try to quit drinking. And even though I'd be super motivated in the beginning, as the days and weeks wore on, my motivation would fade and my desire for alcohol would increase, and that would just eventually lead me back to drinking again. This cycle went on for nearly 10 years until I learned about the Sinclair Method treatment protocol, which has been around for over 30 years. However, most people don't even know that this type of treatment exists for alcohol addiction. I know if you're anything like me, I was of the belief that moderate drinking was either going to be impossible for me to do or really difficult for me to do and just a lot of work. And honestly, the effort didn't feel like it was worth it, which is why I struggled so hard to drink moderately. I would say, I'm going to have 2 drinks tonight, and then that would inevitably turn into 3, 4, 5, 6, or even more drinks. So I was approaching this kind of recognizing that moderate drinking was really hard, but being alcohol free was also really hard because I just wanted to drink so badly and would just be resisting that urge. So this was really this internal conflict that I was in for years and years. But with the Sinclair Method treatment protocol, there's so many things that are unique about it. Number one is that it doesn't require abstaining from alcohol because you actually start the treatment while you're still drinking. And what's so unique about this treatment is that if you want to be a moderate drinker, but you want to just have more control over alcohol, just like I had that desire, it's completely possible for most people through this treatment. And the reason why is because the treatment works to reverse alcohol use disorder neurologically in the brain, which is actually the root cause of excessive drinking anyway. Because when we drink and we drink repeatedly and we drink to excess over a long period of time, it changes our brain, and our brain really begins to prefer and look for that pleasure from alcohol, which is why many of us will, think about drinking on certain occasions or on a daily basis, or really look forward to that drinking every night, which is what I did. I was always looking forward to my next drink. But with the Sinclair Method protocol, it started while someone's still drinking, and over time it gradually helps most people reduce their drinking. And it does this by taking a medicine 1 hour before you drink that's called Naltrexone. And Naltrexone works in the brain to help kind of blunt some of the endorphin reward that the brain experiences when you drink, that kind of pleasure and euphoria. Now, it doesn't make it an unpleasurable experience, but it just makes it a little bit less rewarding. And so when someone goes on the Sinclair Method and they drink on this medicine over and over and over again, their brain essentially unlearns patterns of excessive drinking. I know for me, I truly became a moderate drinker on this treatment. I would be someone who would go out and have a glass, maybe 2 glasses of wine with friends, and then I'd call it a night. Whereas before, 1 or 2 glasses would be me just getting started, and I'd go home and open up a bottle and kind of keep the party going. I really didn't have self-control when it came to alcohol, despite the effort or willpower I would put forth. But through this treatment, I became that moderate drinker, and I was able to drink that way for a year. But after a year on this treatment, to be honest, I just lost all interest in alcohol to where I was going longer and longer between drinks. When I was drinking, I was having one glass of wine, maybe even a half a glass of wine. I just wasn't interested in the buzz or the intoxication or the taste of it anymore. And that led me to go alcohol-free about 5 years ago through this treatment. But I always tell people that if I wanted to drink tomorrow, I could drink. I would just continue to follow this protocol. And I know that my brain would not relearn the alcohol use disorder because I would take the medication beforehand. It would prevent my brain from getting that endorphin reward. And that is ultimately what keeps us protected from redeveloping the alcohol use disorder. Now, a lot of people want to know, do you still take the medication? And no, I do not take the medication because I don't drink anymore. So the medication on this protocol is only taken before you drink. And so I've been 5 years or so alcohol free, and I haven't taken the medication in 5 years either. Being sober through this treatment is a completely different experience than what it was like getting sober before the Sinclair Method, where I would just be white knuckling it and wishing I could drink and telling myself I'm not allowed to. I'd be jealous of the people who were drinking and I wanted to drink. All of that is gone because my desire and my craving for alcohol is completely gone. Like, I just feel like the addiction I had has been completely reversed in my brain. My brain feels like it did before I ever started drinking, like in my teenage years, before, when I would look at alcohol and think it smelled gross and think, why do people even drink that stuff? That's where I'm at now with alcohol, where I have no desire, no craving. I don't even remember what it feels like to be drunk, coming from someone who was drunk every day for nearly 10 years. So it's just incredible what this treatment can do. And one of my favorite things about it is that it empowers you to decide the type of relationship you want to have with alcohol. Whether you want to be a moderate drinker, that is totally possible with this treatment. Like I said, I drank that way for a year on this treatment. It was incredible. Or if you want to go alcohol free eventually through this treatment, it makes it much easier to do because you no longer have a desire or craving for alcohol. Sure, you might still choose to drink in moderation, but it's not from a place of compulsion, like, I need a drink, I had a stressful day, or I need a drink, I'm bored. It's more of like, hey, I'm going to an Italian dinner, I'm going to have a glass of wine with it. This conscious decision to have a drink, kind of like you might consciously decide to have some dessert with dinner. It's not this obsessive compulsive thing. It becomes something that is back within your control. And that is the power of this treatment. Like I said, the Sinclair Method has been around for nearly 30 years. It's not very well known yet, unfortunately, even though there's decades of research behind it. I'm a success story. I have recorded a lot of success stories of this treatment, which I share clips from here. And you can also see the full interviews on my YouTube channel as well. Just wanted to share this information with you guys today. If you're curious to learn more about the method, all my videos are about it. Also, check out the link in my profile where I have a link to our website where you can get started on the treatment, as well as free resources as well if you just want to learn more. Take care. Bye for now.